What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at the playtest for the much-awaited Wall World 2. This one was a surprise hit for Allawar. In general, they tend to make games that are very lightweight, very fast to play, and usually have a decently well-developed core gameplay loop, but in general, they tend to suffer from a lack of depth. And so anyways, Wall World 2, after the first game's success, I'm hoping that the second one here is going to have quite a bit more complexity. If you never played Wall World before this, Wall World is a post-apocalyptic game where everybody lives on the side of this giant wall that extends into the sky forever, and sort of like these basket-like cities or like these glass dome-like cities that are suspended from the wall. There has been an invasion of a giant fern gully monster that's really messing things up for everybody, and you are a prospector, a guy that takes out a giant spider mech to climb up the wall, gather resources, and bring them back so that the colony can continue surviving. This game is a roguelite, so it's going to come strapped with lots of metagame progression and stuff like that. Today we're going to take a look at the playtest for about 30 minutes. We're going to see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or if it's one of those games you would rather not play for yourself. I've got a link for you down below in the description. The playtest should still be up when this video goes live, but no promises there because I never know the scheduling for when things get put up or taken down on Steam when it comes to like alphas, playtests, and things of that nature, but hopefully it's still there for you. You'll also be able to find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links down below just in case you wanted to check those on out, but I've taken the trouble of going through, I've already played through the prologue because it's very, very storyline heavy when you're playing through the prologue, and so I decided after playing for like 40 minutes that I would re-record this video and just show gameplay this time around because it was a lot of reading and not a whole lot of things actually happening. And so here we are. We are inside of our garage. Inside of our garage, if you'll recognize this from the first game if you've played it, but if you haven't, this is our garage. This is where we buy new materials, we buy new hulls and things for our spider mech. Right now I only have two of them. I have the miner chassis, which allows me to have 40 HP and 60 speed. I've also got this guy right here, which has quite a bit more HP, but is a little bit slower. The Prospector's a little bit heavier. I think that sounds all right to me right now, and so instead of like talking a whole bunch, let's just get into the game. We'll take a mission and we'll kind of see how this goes, and then after that, we'll discuss all the metagame progression and some of the changes and things that have happened in between the first title and this title. So let's go ahead and select a mission. We've got Hard. It is an XL mission to save some miners. Okay, do we have any other locations on the map that we can take a look at, or is this pretty much it? It looks like this is pretty much the only place that we can go on the map for right now, and so I guess we'll take Rescue the Miners since we have no other choice. Let's begin and let's get moving. It's time to climb that wall, boys. We about to get out here and get ourselves some ore. Alright, so they're landing our mech right this second. The first thing that you will notice about this game very, very rapidly is that the graphical quality has gone up considerably. This game looks a whole lot better than the first game, and the first game really was no slouch when it came to like visual fidelity and pixel art as well. But really, the core of this game is that you're going to spend the vast majority of your time mining. There's a couple things on our UI implements right now that you'll probably want to be aware of. Just to be a more effective miner, at the top of the screen, there's a big, scary-looking meter. That big, scary-looking meter right there, that's going to be how long it's going to be before the bugs, or I guess the Fern Gully monster, decides to come around and attack our mech. Our goal here is to try to complete our mission before we get attacked so many times that our spider mech ends up getting blown up. And on each run, you're going to be gathering up ores. So, for example, we're getting purple and we're getting green right now. Green, by and large, is used to like repair your mech and for some other upgrades, and then purple is going to be used for everything from upgrading your mining skills to your exosuit to your mech, getting better fire rates, getting a better ability to fight against threats that come down the pipe. And so let's get in here and get mining. But it's also important that we remember that along the way we are supposed to be finding some miners that have been marooned down here inside of this cave. Now, I don't remember the first game particularly well. I don't remember if there was monsters inside the mines or anything else inside the first game. Honestly, I have no recollection of the first game in all fairness, even though I know that I played it a lot. However, in this game, there are definitely enemies that are down inside of the mine. You're going to have to laser them, kill them off, expunge them, and eliminate them if you want to be safe throughout your mining foray, because in general, most of the enemies that I've seen in this game so far in like the hour and a half that I put into this playtest, hey, there's our miner. In the hour and a half or so that I put into this playtest, they tend to build up inside the dungeon, and so you are going to want to actively be seeking out areas that have spawners, stuff like that, to get rid of them as effectively as possible. I don't think I'm quite ready to leave the mine just yet, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gather up as much of this blurple stuff as I possibly can so that we can leave this place all nice and blurped out inside Wall Society, dude. The only thing that matters is how blurped out you are. If you're not blurped out as hell, just straight dripping from the blurp, unfortunately, everybody's going to disrespect you. Let's hop back into the spider real quick, and we will take a look at our upgrades. Love that screen wipe right there when your PDA or like your iPad comes out to buy upgrades. That's the good stuff, and you can see a list of all the things that we can buy run after run. Now, these things are not conserved. There is a storyline reason why these things are not conserved. It has to do with the drop pod that drops us off over here. It can't handle the weight of all of our upgrades, so before we get dropped and before we leave to get extracted, we have to drop all of our upgrades, basically. Otherwise, the drone can't carry us. But for right now, I would say let's get more damage on our bullets. Let's get more fire rate. I'm going to get a little bit of movement speed so that I can move throughout the mine a little bit quicker. And then there's not really going to be anything for us to spend our green on, unfortunately. Let me get back in here, and I'm going to try to pull out as many resources as I possibly can before the first wave arrives, because we are a little bit ahead of the curve. My general experience thus far has been that, unfortunately, finding the miner can take a long time when you're inside this map, and so we actually found that last one pretty quickly by comparison to how this usually goes. So if I can get a few more resources out of here, that'd be great. Unfortunately, there weren't many more resources inside of here, so we're just going to unhook our spider mech real fast, and we're going to head up the wall and hopefully keep ourselves nice and safe before we get attacked. What we're looking for here is there's going to be like a little divot in the side of the wall that has a bunch of like crumbly nonsense on it. That's going to be our next mine. It also helps you out by zooming out the map. Can I even go this way, or is that blocked off? Oh, did I miss a mine? I must have missed a mine. We're going to have to climb back down the wall, unfortunately. I'm sure one of you guys saw it, and you're probably like mocking me right now viciously. Time to cry myself to sleep again. The internet is sad with me. But let's get in here and see if we can find this miner. They do give us like a little boom scanner, like alien style, that helps us find the miners a little bit faster. We do have, oh man, there's a whole bunch of resources down here. Yeah, suck all them bad boys up. Damage every block I can on my way out too, because this game is very much all about like efficiency. The more efficient you are while you're inside the mine, just dragging things out and also damaging blocks while you're on your way in and on the way out, it speeds up the process and makes it more likely that you're going to find your target. Let's avoid that hard block right there. Okay, we got an enemy on this side. Oh god, I'm on fire! Okay, yep. Super enjoyable experience. It's fine. I needed to work on my tan anyways. I've been getting super pale. I got injured in the gym, dude. I got injured in the gym like 2 weeks ago. Think I slipped a disc in my back, and so I've been out of the gym for like 2 or 3 weeks at the moment. And honestly, I don't know if you guys go to the gym and stuff, but I find it very frustrating. Like that's my unwinding time, you know what I mean? That's where I decompress and feel better about my day regardless of what happened. And me not being able to get that in right now, I'm not getting any sunlight on my skin, dude. I'm not getting any of those like nourishing rays. I'm not getting my pump on. It's unfortunate, dude. It's very unfortunate. And so, like, I'm looking out for my character right now. I'm making sure that he has the tan necessary to withstand the harsh UV rays that the enemy and the universe are going to be throwing at us here. I don't think there's going to be anything up that way. Like, it doesn't look like there's anything revealable, so I'm just going to come down this way. We'll grab all that blurple right there. We're probably going to want to get out of the mine and get ready to defend pretty soon. I think that's probably going to be the ticket fairly shortly, but let me see what kind of damage I can do to this mine, and if I can find my way at least partially to the miner before we run back up to the surface to panic and spray bullets everywhere. Ooh, I found our miner, but I'm sorry, I didn't find our miner, but I did find an artifact. These right here are kind of similar to something you would find in the Binding of Isaac or like Spelunky. They allow you to just get flatly stronger for the remainder of this run, and they can be very helpful. They give you everything from combat drones that watch your back to, you know, you name it. We found a docking station. Every 180 seconds, the spider produces a portable induction booster, increasing movement speed in the mine and drilling efficiency in its range. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's jump on in here real quick, and I'm going to buy some upgrades before this wave gets here. Give me more turning radius on my gun, more turning radius on my gun. We'll get mining efficiency right there. We will also get mining efficiency right there. I can't really afford anything else for right now, so let's jump out of there. We're going to exit the mine for a second. That way we can stay mobile while we're moving around. I think we do also have a dash or something like that that we can pull off too, just in case, but I think I need to unlock it first. I don't know. The dash was inside the tutorial, but like it's not here now. Are these guys going to arrive? Where are they at? Where are these dudes chilling at? Get out here. Come fight me. Fern Gully monster, I'm ready for you. Look at all these bullets. I got this Ma Deuce bumping. I'm ready. All right, we got enemies on grid. Let's open fire on them. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of spread on my shots right now. So, like, there's no guarantee that I'm actually going to land the hits that I need to land. We've also got bugs coming up from the south. Let's go ahead and churn through them real quick. See if I can avoid bullets here when and where I can. I ate one bullet right there, so that's okay. Let's hop out of this thing real quick. These guys are going to get to stepping again. And hopefully with my new mining gun, we should be in better shape to deal with threats. Like, the damage efficiency should apply to the enemies as well as to the blocks that are around us. You might have noticed the little sparkles that are coming down from the blocks that we're mining. That's a generic currency that you're extracting in between runs. You use it for a number of different things inside the greater context of, like, the town gameplay, which this game absolutely does have. I'm going to drag these over to here so that they're easier to obtain. And our little booper is going nuts right now, saying that there's a miner nearby. Come on, break those blocks. We unfortunately got like a double block right there. Oh, God. Okay, yep, very, very painful, shockingly so. Unfortunately, attacks in this game don't have the level of impact that I would like to see them have. Enemies don't really react to being shot in general. The weight of the game feels sort of like paper thin to me in the current build, where you're like fighting sprites and stuff, but like I feel like they could punch up the sound effects and also just reaction sprites and whatnot from enemies being shot in order to make the game feel a little bit better while you're fighting. I do think that a solid sense of impact and like a solid sense of collision when it comes to weapon designs in games is always incredibly important. Let's see what I can kill down here. This is a spawner. When I kill this spawner off, it's going to add a bunch of red to the meter, unfortunately. And so it's kind of like a risk-reward type deal, where you've got to decide whether or not you want to fight like buttloads of enemies inside the mine as it endlessly spawns them, or do you want to fight lots and lots of surface monsters? Yep, this way. I've never seen a miner be upwards, but hey, let's see what happens. I suppose it's possible. Oh yeah, there's a whole different shaft up here. The downside is I'm gonna have to come back and get all these minerals and whatnot before too long. This way? I'm not convinced that it's this way. Oh, well, there is a dirt block above that one right there. Come on. Ooh, that was a tricksy one. All right, yeah, we got lucky with that one. It would have taken me forever to find that guy if I hadn't just, like, stumbled on into it. All right, let's get out of the mine real fast. I'm going to try to grab every single resource that's down here. That way we have lots and lots of upgrades for the showdown. Like I mentioned, this game actually incorporates... I don't remember if the first game had extraction mechanics or not. This game definitely does, where once we complete our objective, we've got to light off a flare, and we've got to hold out for like a couple of minutes while we just get swarmed with enemies. That's one of those things that, like, you know, you want to be prepared for. You want to have your ducks in a row when it comes to your upgrades. Well, I grabbed as much as I possibly could. There's still a lot more inside of there, and so I'm tempted to go back in for another one. But it sort of looks like, I think, ooh, a compensator. Yeah, get the compensator and get the expanding bullets, too, so that we get 30% more damage. That would be very, very nice. And since I already got my miner from here, like, there's lots and lots of resources left, but I don't think there's anything stopping me from getting resources from the other mine either. I'd like to get down to the third tier of, like, spider defense protocols before we actually call it a day, I think. Where's my third miner at, though? He down here? Unfortunate. We are now under attack again. Oop, and they're coming down that way. All right, just keep shooting them up, and we're going to get the spider moving. We got to kind of, like, lead that one. He's being a little bit of a headache. All right, walk back this way. See if I can't avoid a bullet or two. Oh, we ain't avoiding nothing right now. They got me trapped. Ugh. Okay. Keep fighting this way. Come on. Got you. Dodge that bullet. There's our third mine. All right, that's what I needed. And then this guy needs to get shot in the face like right now. There we go. Censored for the younger eyes in the audience. Let's get into the mine and see what we can do here. Hopefully we don't end up with too many... I don't know. Hopefully we don't end up with too many things trying to murder us, in all fairness. If there's too many spawners down in here, that's really going to mess with our efficiency. Okay. What you got for me, baby? I'll take that. That's good enough. I'm going to leave it where it lies for right now. What is that thing? I don't know what that is, but I'm going to destroy it. If I can split the shot between two nodes at once, that would be ideal. Ow, dude, it farted on me. Rude. We have rules in society, sir. In general, that is not a thing you do unless you're filming it for the internet on one of your friends because it's hilariously funny, all right? But other than that, it's a great way to get smacked. And seeing as how you've been now lasered, I think that I've proven that point. Let's continue grabbing everything that we possibly can from here. Our vacuum is almost full up. I definitely need to get enough resources to where I can expand the size of my vacuum, dude. I can't, like, hold anything right now. Just get you all out of here so I don't have to worry about you later. Where are my other resources at? Anywhere? You know, I can't help but notice we don't really have like a boop scanner in here, so there may not actually be a miner inside this mine. Luckily for us, though, it's a very, very fragile mine that's easy to get through and has lots of resources in it. So I may risk this one for the biscuit just to get some extra resources for upgrades so that we can fight a little bit more effectively. This wave, I'll probably just focus on knocking down as much like loot as I possibly can, and then I'll worry about the other half of it later. Hey, I found the shaft where our last miner is. I had to go way down the wall, dude. I just went ahead and edited it on out because, like, I was finding myself in some transit, bro. There's another thing I can do that I totally forgot to show you guys. You can walk on the floor in this game, and if you're on the floor, you can move more quickly. And so use that to your advantage when it comes time to extract. It can be useful to make long walkway corridors where you can do that at, should you require it. Everything I can grab, I guess. Yeah. Sounds like he's over here, so I think I'm on the right path. I'm still going to try to farm up a few more upgrades before we go, but come on. Get it done. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Get all that blurple up in there, dude. We blurpinating. Well, I think I see... Oh, I thought I saw something. Never mind. I did see something, but it wasn't the something that I was looking for. We should probably get out of here. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's see if we can get back to the surface real quick. There we go. Drop that stuff off, and let's get ready for a defense real fast. Upgrades-wise, I actually don't know what I want to grab right now. I don't have enough for anything other than turret rotation. I could lower my bullet spread, which might be nice. Kind of expensive, but it would give us a little bit of precision, I suppose. We could also increase our caliber, but I have to save up a little bit more for that. Let's just take the fight real quick, and then we'll rescue this miner, and then we'll beat up out of here, dude. I can't remember how to make I don't know if it can still do it. Like, one of my spider mechs had, like, a cool anime dash to it where it, like, does, like, a dash skid, but maybe it's because I'm in the heavy one. I can't do that. Now, you might be asking yourself, what exactly happens when we get to the giant red tentacle on this overall engagement? Well, nothing good, I'll tell you that. Something deeply unpleasant that we don't want to deal with, really. Come on, fire. Got him. These guys are all firing bullets at me. I think I can get out of the way of him, and then these dudes down here, I don't even know how much damage they're going to take. They fire, like, smaller, more efficient bullets. Okay. All right, let's go back up, and we'll finish off this last guy over here. And then we'll go find our miner. Good. All right, let's go find this miner real fast so that we can evac, and I can show you the rest of the game, too. Get in here. All right. Jump on out. We should be able to make tracks in here pretty easily. Just because I've cut like a corridor, so it should be pretty fast to get back into the dungeon. Perfect. I hear it. It's in here somewhere. This is going to piss off the hive when I do this, though. There we go. I definitely want that alien part right there. Oh, we've got another artifact over here, too. That's spicy. I like that. Okay, give me the artifact then. Yeah, drop the artifact for a second while I pick up all this other stuff, and then we'll try to run our way out of here. What did we get? Once every 10 seconds, the exosuit emits a pulse that briefly highlights resources. Oh, that's not too bad. I don't know if I've even seen it using the other module. I don't know if there was like any micromanagement I had to do for that module. Not really too sure. Any resources up here? Oh, yeah, I saw that. Okay, that ping's helpful. Is that blocking it? Oh, it must be up this way. All right. Up, and away we go. Ooh, we got a whole bunch of goodies over here, too, although I don't know if it's worth it to actually try to mine through them. Let's just go get the miner, I guess. It sounds like he's up here from the pings. Maybe? Maybe back this way? No, down this way. Where you at? Come on, miner. I know you're around here somewhere. Oh, dude, another insect lair over here. Just can't catch a break with these spawners. All right, I'm just going to ignore this one and try to find my miner real fast. I've got a shield, so it's not really that big of a deal if I get shot. There we go. We got our last miner. I just didn't want to, like, light off any more conflict if I don't have to. All right, destroy that bullet right there. There's a lot of resources down here that I am interested in, but, like, I don't know if I can get my hands on them in time. I'm kind of trying to, like, get off the map right now. Things are going to intensify pretty soon. All right, let's run back this way, give ourselves a nice little launch, jump in here. Let's take a look at our upgrades. I can get bigger, badder bullets, so I'll take that. And then, since we did our mission, let's just call for the evac. Yeah, dude, evac's coming here. I'm fine with that. Exit the mine. We might need to move a little bit during this process. I think my gun is upgraded enough that we should be able to do the last stand. The last time I attempted this mission, I found all the miners, but I died during evac because my gun wasn't strong enough, and I just got, like, overrun by the entire map. There we go. Keep cutting them down. I need to go south, please. Okay. I need to be out of this firing zone. We're taking too much damage. I have no idea what that thing's going to do, so I'm just going to keep shooting it until it dies. Get him out of my way. We got 20 seconds left till we're out of here. Good. It's amazing how much differently this is going from my last evac. My last evac was absolute mayhem. There is a downside to evacing that needs to be fixed, I think, from a core gameplay level. So when it gets down to 0, a drone's going to come pick us up. And even though we don't really have any control over our spider mech while being picked up, unfortunately, we can still take damage. And so I'm just going to repair right now real fast just to do it. There we go. Get me on board. Get me on board. We taking too much damage. They're going to need to make it so that your ship has like a shield or something, or all the enemies freeze whenever the evac comes to pick you up after you finish your timer. So there you go. We killed 98 Zyrex. We were in here for 28 minutes. It didn't feel like 28 minutes, but we got some dust for upgrades. We found a couple of relics, so not the worst run. Alright, so in the in-between period of your runs, the game has also gone through a fairly considerable visual upgrade. There's a town you can walk around inside of, there's various vendors that you can talk with, they may give you special requests or quests or anything else that they want you to take care of. You can buy upgrades inside of here, so like I can upgrade the size of my vacuum should I desire to do so. That's classified right there. The Vol Digger speed up by 10%. Okay, we've got jet boots over here. I think I already bought the first tier of those, and so I think what I'd like is let's just increase the size of our vacuum. That feels like a pretty solid purchase to me. And then we're gonna go to the bar and we're gonna get ourselves drunk. But yeah, visually I think the game's been upgraded in a lot of ways. We're kind of getting towards the end of the video right now. What's this guy want? What you looking at? Come to gloat at my grief? No, I just thought you might need help. Only if you can pull my lost cat out of nowhere, which I doubt. I've only seen a cat in a book. Me too. I built a drone that looked like one. Now there's just a cat bot that wanders around the city day and night, who knows where, but every morning he wakes me up. His servo's purring into my ear, the bastard. He's practically family. The books say that they love to roam free. Yeah, the silly thing climbed into some mine and I lost the signal. You often dig around in mines. Can you check this one right here? I'll give you the blueprint. Okay, send me the coordinates. But as I was saying, visually, the game has been upgraded a lot. However, the downside to this title, for me personally, is just that, unfortunately, everything feels very, very light. Like, there's no weight to any of the gameplay or any of the interactions of mobs that you're striking or shooting or getting into conflict with. And so that's one of those things that I definitely like to see brought up. I mean, even simple stuff like redesigning the sound effect, for example, for the plasma gun right here, where it goes whoosh. You know, it makes like a sound like that where it ramps up for like a half second, then it fires with a much thicker, heavier sound. When enemies get hit, like a thicker, chunkier, like a chuck, 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 chuck. When they're taking damage would be nice. Having them react to getting hit by getting knocked back, or having like a separate sprite where they sort of like spin out a little bit when you hit them from the momentum of the bullet. Those are the little details that I hope that they get in there before a finalized release. But for right now, if you are a fan of Wall World 1, I will virtually guarantee you that you'll probably be a fan of Wall World 2. Very, very similar games in a lot of ways, just with a lot of like fun visual upgrades and pixel art upgrades that make the game look a lot better to play. There's also some fun mechanical changes, like being able to run on the floor and launch yourself off and do sort of like a spaceman spin in order to gain speed and avoid hazards and things of that nature. New abilities like the spider being able to dash in certain configurations and do like a cool like kick dash thing with lots of cool effects around that. The game has definitely had visual upgrades in between iterations, but what I would work on for right now is just making the game feel a little bit more heavy and making this beautiful sprite work just pop a little bit harder. Little things like when you're mining on something right there should be like bits of dirt and sediment falling to the ground and, you know, rolling around with physics on the ground while you're getting that going. It's just those little touches that I feel like the game is missing. Other than that, it's a game that's got a solid core gameplay loop, very, very nice pixel art. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with Wall World 2, the anticipated sequel to Wall World 1. Who would have ever guessed? I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in, and I think that's about all I got for you, folks. Bye.